Hey, what's up? You down for me to like observe one thing and then make a giant kind of pointless rhetorical point off of it for like 15 minutes? Yeah, basically like every sports fan has ever done ever, because yeah, that's what we're locking in and we're doing right now. First, it was Endrick, right? Everybody knows who Endrick is. If you follow soccer or football, you at least probably know who Endrick is. Maybe I'm just a little too buried in the weeds to have my finger on the pulse there. But Endrick is a 17-year-old kid playing in Brazil. I've known who he was for 2 years already, which sounds creepy, but he's really good at soccer, so it's less creepy. And the reason that everybody knows who he is he's signed to play for Real Madrid. Just in case you didn't know, he's also already playing in the Brazilian national team. And that makes you a target. Right? Obviously, it's going to make you a target. Can you imagine being somebody playing in the Brazilian league, or in this case, in continental competition for a club called Liverpool, but not the one you're thinking of, the one that actually plays in the Uruguayan league? They have the exact same name. I guess nobody decided they could ever change it. And unlike things like Burger King or McDonald's, I guess you can't sue the other club over their name, but that's just probably my most American take of the day. I don't really care. I love the fact that there's a Liverpool in Uruguay. Got to get a correct pronunciation in there once before I Americanize it up too much. But they're playing against Palmeiras, which is the club that Endrick is playing for because he can't move to Real Madrid until he's 18 years old and then legally allowed to get drafted and vote. So good for him. Sure, he's looking forward to that. But while you're playing against these teams, everybody knows who you are because you are the big deal. You're the guy that's going to Real Madrid, and that makes you kind of a barometer. At the very least, it makes you a lightning rod for serious amounts of physical attention. Now, I will say at the beginning of this video, Endrick doesn't help himself. He does not help himself because he has absolute oodles of swag. He's swaggerific. He's swagtastic. Even though he's 17 years old and he's subbing into this game, you can already tell that he is better than everybody else on this field, right? Or that he is going to be better than everybody else on this field. I'm not saying that he's acting pretentious. I'm just saying he's already got it down pat, right? This guy's got a good management team. He's got a good agent, I'm assuming. I have no idea, but they have at least coached him up on how to have aura, because a lot of people spend countless hours bantering on the internet about aura. And this kid has it. Just watch the way he walks onto the field in this video clip. It's not even the point of this video clip, but just watch the way he walks on the field in it. Look at this. Look at that. Water in the hair. Oh, he's making sure the hair is standing upright. And also very, very easy to overlook here. Collar all the way popped. Okay, that is a statement. That is some 1960s Brazilian national team player shit right there. That is popping the collar, water in the hair, accidentally kind of bumps into this dude who's like, oh, this is Endrick, but I'm going to act all tough. I'm not going to get out of the way. And then he just takes an Endrick straight to the chest here. I mean, this is a statement move right there. And it did not go unnoticed, right? Not only is this Endrick checking into the game, but he has that bucket of swag he's just decided to, he's got that hanging out of his back pocket walking onto the field, right? This dude he's got it. He's got the it factor, right? And if you have the it factor and you're rubbing it in the face of seasoned professionals that play in the Uruguayan league, we're talking about a league that produces the likes of Luis Suarez, right? And literally anybody on the Uruguayan national team who I'm pretty sure commit murder at the World Cup on a, quad annual basis. Would that be the way to say that? But yeah, I'm sure the Uruguayan league reflects its national team to a certain extent. Biting, elbowing, general violence, baseball bats allowed on the field, only a yellow card if you take a swing at somebody else's head. Well, that sort of nonsense wasn't going to fly. And based off of all those various things that I just said, this was probably tame by comparison. Yo, what's up? Hey! The best part of this, not the best part of this, the best part of this is the incredible swag Endrick has while he's just checking into a game. But the best part of this is the crowd. You've got the applause at the beginning. I'll let you listen to it without my useless commentary, right? The applause he gets while he's coming out the field, and then the crowd just going like, oh. And Endrick, to his credit, he does not break character. He's committed to the bit. He's been well coached on how to have this swag and this aura. He takes it, and instead of complaining to the referee, like maybe those gone by, in an era gone by, in an era that is hopefully fading from recent memory, he instead stands there, motionless, wondering what the hell this guy happens to be doing. Observe. I actually respect this a lot. He doesn't even acknowledge the guy. He just kind of looks towards the bench. Maybe he's looking at the fourth official, like giving it a classic. Allow me bro. Come on, Abraham Lincoln. Whatever. Allow me to do my thing. And the interesting thing, Palmeiras, I think, lost this game 1-0 to Liverpool. I don't know for sure because I didn't care enough to look it up because everybody's just waiting for this kid to come on over. Now, if that is a win, that's actually a huge win for Liverpool. Okay, I'm going to look it up. Fine. The score I saw was premature. Liverpool had an early 1-0 lead, but then Palmeiras equalized before halftime, ended up winning 3-1, so they're currently sitting atop their Copa Libertadores group, which, congratulations to Palmeiras. There's like 27 Brazilian teams in the Copa Libertadores every year. The majority of the top Brazilian league makes it into continental competition. It's weird. It's fun. It's exciting. It's exhilarating. But I haven't even gotten to the rhetorical point I wanted to make. Not only when you are somebody like Endrick, you are a lightning rod for these kind of career bruisers that happen to be on another team that you're playing. And that is something that molds you. This is why, even with a player like Neymar that people will look at and tell you underachieve their potential, I generally scoff in the direction of those people because it is very, 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 very hard to be anointed the savior at this age and be able to put up with this type of bullshit like your whole career. This is why Neymar's ankles, it's a contributing factor to why Neymar's ankles have given up on him. They have already left. They have taken up residence in Cancun. They are waiting for the rest of his body to join him or to join them. And that is why, because players just are taking shots at these guys. If you are anointed the savior early on in your career, people have you targeted. You are circled on the calendar, not with a heart, with a big circle and a line through it, and they are going to go after you. It is so damn impressive when players that are anointed the savior like Vinicius Jr., like Neymar, obviously I'm just naming Brazilian examples, but Brazil, to be fair, does a really good job of hyping these guys up, and they eventually become successful, but they also seem to be cracking under the pressure a little bit. The reason they're kind of cracking under the pressure a little bit is because it is maddening, I am sure, and incredibly difficult to deal with this type of nonsense, right? If you are a Jamie Vardy and a late bloomer, you have to prove people wrong, yes, but you also don't have to deal with this kind of target on your back for most of your career. Even if you are just a regular run-of-the-mill player for Palmeiras, even if you are just a regular run-of-the-mill player on a team like Real Madrid, you are an incredible, incredible player. I'm looking at you, Danny Carvajal. Now that you're an incredible player. You don't have to deal with this type of nonsense. Right? You don't. This type of nonsense consistently is reserved for the special ones, the ones that have an opportunity to be special. People are going to come after you. They're going to try and take pieces out of you. They're going to talk mad shit, and they are going to get every single cheap shot in, which is why I will never not be impressed. I will always be impressed. Double negatives, not in my vocabulary. No, grammar king over here. But I will always be impressed by players that are able to overcome being raised in this type of environment, this type of footballing environment where you are one of the chosen ones, particularly out of Brazil, but really just anywhere. Phil Foden's somebody that's also doing that, and he had every opportunity to give up when he was playing 5 minutes a season for a couple of years there. These guys get it. They are able to execute under pressure, under a certain ridiculous amount of physical strain that most people just aren't able to handle. And the world is strewn with players that were anointed the next chosen one and couldn't handle not just the physical, but the emotional toll of being ridden like a horse by, 37-year-old divorcees. Because it's their goal. This is their Super Bowl. This is this guy's Super Bowl. He's defending Endrick. He's going to tell his grandkids maybe about that one time that he got to defend Endrick in the Copa Libertadores. You were the main attraction. I think Michael Jordan talks about this. If you ever watch The Last Dance, Michael Jordan, or at least somebody in Michael Jordan's orbit, talks about how every time the team playing against him, the fans going against him, the defender particularly on him, like it is their big night. They get to see Michael Jordan play, right? And you're the one that has to deliver. But this is every night for Endrick. Endrick's always the guy on the field with Endrick because he is Endrick. That felt like some sort of weird philosophical conundrum, but you get what I'm saying. It's not the big matches. It's not the Champions League finals. It's not the World Cups. It's not the Cup finals. Everybody's got to deal with the same sort of pressure. It's this stuff, right? Like I was saying, it's this dude's Super Bowl. right? Everybody that plays against you knows who you are, is paying attention to you, and is desperate to be the person that proves that you are not all that you've cracked up to be. The incredible pressure that somebody like Endrick or those that have come before him feel every time they lace up their boots, even in practice, to try and justify the amount of faith that people have in them, the amount of money being spent on them. Wait, can you imagine being 15 years old and having somebody spend $72 million for you to play on their team? I was begging my high school coach just to let me sit on the bench. I was paying him my allowance. You know, I'm spotting him $15 or whatever I can scrape together from my high school job to try and get on the bench. Somebody's paying over $70 million just for you to play on their team. How do you even rationalize that when you're 15 years old? But this is just me being a fan, extrapolating an entire lifetime of psychological and physical pressure that is heaped upon these particularly chosen wonder kids from one simple video. But it is worth understanding and internalizing this the next time one of these guys goes crazy, or Vinicius Jr. starts crying at a press conference, or even somebody like Richarlison, who hasn't necessarily been subjected to this type of pressure, but has been subjected to more pressure than 99.9% of us could ever possibly imagine, has like a breakdown. It's because you're dealing with this stuff your entire life. And these types of people that end up in this situation, they always have my sympathy. Right. And sometimes they do just end up being bad players. And I'm happy to sit here and be a fan and call that out. But when they actually are able to deliver on at least most of what was promised, it's particularly impressive when you think about the fact that their entire life is this. And they just don't get to play the same game that everybody else gets to play. That's it. That and aura. Aura is the it factor. It is.